Welcome to the All That to Say podcast.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Miranda. And I have a lot to say.
And I'm going to make sure she says it.
That's right. We're so bad about introducing our podcast.
We never do.
We never do. And we just assume that people know what we're talking. Well, they can see it with their eyeballs.
Yeah.
Because it's downloaded.
Yeah. We jump right in every time. Yep. That's how we roll. Mm-hmm. Speaking of jumping in, I'm jumping into this.
Gross.
And this is...
Nope, I don't like anything in that jar. I know that.
This is overnight chia pudding.
No.
Okay.
No, thank you.
I'm going to, for our YouTubers, I'm just going to lean it down so you guys can really take a look at the gray matter. It is.
The gray matter.
I know. So it is the chia pudding.
I know.
With macadamia nut milk.
No.
Blueberries.
No, I don't like blueberries at all.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that.
Full and raw.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the blueberries.
There's no flavor.
Raw, just almonds with no salt. Just 5 almonds.
No.
3 macadamia nuts, and that's it.
No.
Swirled together.
And did you put any agave?
No.
Anything for sweetener?
No.
There's nothing.
I'm not allowed. Okay, so here's what this is, y'all. Y'all ready? This is called. This is Dr. Jorge's fault, by the way.
I know.
Lindsay Quinn, if you're listening, you know about Fresh Reset. They've said the words Fresh Reset to you 1,200 times, I'm sure.
Yeah, and probably my dad, too.
Yeah, I'm sure he's done it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fresh Reset is kind of a fast cleanse type of thing.
Yes, you've done this before.
I've done it 2 times before.
Okay, yes, I remember the last time.
And for some reason, it's like I delete every time and I think, oh, it was fine, it was easy. And then I jump back into it 6 months later and I remember how horrible it is.
Isn't this where you just get broth or something?
Yes, so it's 2 soups that I had to make. So it's like homemade soups for lunch and dinner, and then this is breakfast.
With no salt in those soups, probably.
You get to put 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
In an entire batch.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
So it's a lot, and my whole house still smells like these soups, and you know how I feel about the smells in my house.
You do not like it. You don't like when a bag of food is left in the car for any amount of time, like a to-go bag.
Yes.
I've watched you freak out on that over it before at the mountain house.
If I get into the car, he was the last one in the car, and he left his Biscuitville in there.
Yep.
And then I got to get in.
Yep.
And now I'm smelling like greasy biscuits.
I know.
After I got ready and looked cute and smelled good, and now I smell like your grease, your fast food grease, and people are going to smell it on me. They're going to think it was me pounding the Biscuitville.
No, they won't.
Yes, well, obviously.
They'll look you up and down and go, yeah, she's probably not getting Biscuitville.
Well, maybe I am sometimes, but the point is, it's Matt that's leaving
because he forgets everything.
His garbage food. And so I have cooked these soups, and they're stewing and simmering, and I got to do all these things. It's a black bean, it's like a tomato, and it's in the walls of my house. I wake up in the morning because our room is above the kitchen, and it's seeps.
It's coming in through the vents. No.
You know I don't like it.
I know you don't like that at all.
But you're particular about smells.
I am very particular about smells, especially perfumes.
Tell the people, though, because you owned a bakery.
Yeah.
And I think this is fascinating. So I've seen people react in real time when you tell them this.
Yes. So because I owned a bakery, everything smelled sweet to me, right? So everything's being baked, cakes, and just so much sugar. And people, for some reason, I mean, I get it, not for some reason, but people, when they would gift me candles, especially, they're like, I got you a sugar cookie candle. The one that smells like sugar cookie when it's lit. And I'm like, guys.
The birthday cake candle.
Yes. A birthday cake candle.
No,
I'm like, okay,
don't do it.
I understand the sentiment. Like, you think it's precious and funny and ironic and cute.
Yeah.
However, I don't need my home to smell more like a birthday cake. It already naturally smells like a birthday cake. Did we learn nothing on Clueless when she said, have fresh baked cookies going when your date comes over because he'll want to sleep with you?
Oh my gosh.
Did we learn nothing
Love that
from
scene.
Alicia Silverstone? So I don't need the fake artificial smell of it because I already have the real smell, which is why I think I am so attracted to sandalwood, tea,
musky.
I want a musky. I'm wearing my Egyptian goddess. I have worn the same body oil, Egyptian goddess. I have worn the same one since high school. I've never veered, never faltered, never gone.
I love that.
Altered. I faltered a lot.
Yeah.
I have never altered. I've never altered it. And I'm on it. I'm on it today.
I love people who have their signature smell. It can't be me because I am a 7 and I'm constantly changing my mind and
Smell
changing
me.
my mood.
Smell me.
Oh, I know your smell. I know it. That is your smell.
Oh, I'm okay. I hope I didn't just flash at YouTubers. Hold on.
Another paywall. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Okay. But if that doesn't get you over to the YouTube to see just how close I came.
Again, how many times do we have to tell them to come to the YouTube?
I don't know.
Because the new one came out, and it's great. It's great, especially because you get to see all our flubs. If you guys listened to last week, you know I didn't push the red button. The laptop went blank at one point. Like, there was so much happening specifically on the YouTube for people to be entertained.
And you're just keeping it in there.
I did some funny things.
Did some funny things?
With the laptop going black. I did.
Yeah, so Kristen is now doing the YouTube part of it because it's already recording on her computer. And, like, thank God it is, because we wouldn't have had the audio last time. We would have had to pull it off my phone, which I think would have been weird.
Yeah. No, thank God we had it. And the audio's not bad. I was able to adjust.
I already listened this morning.
Oh, thank you. And it sounded okay.
Sounded great. I don't think that if you wouldn't have said anything, I'm not sure who would have noticed. I would have been curious to throw up a poll and be like, did anybody notice at what minute do you think one audio switched to a different kind of audio?
Interesting.
I would have been curious to see if anyone would have really caught it. You know, somewhat Deanna would have.
Okay, Deanna for sure.
Because she's catching everything.
Yes. But she's our, like, secretary almost. Yeah. She's keeping track of everything we talk about and do, and we need her to because we can't remember what we've talked about.
No, we've shared so many stories between each other for 12 years of friendship.
Yeah.
When we start sharing them on here, we cannot remember what we've already told and what we haven't told. And now we're trying to prevent talking to each other outside of this, which is kind of affecting our friendship a little bit, don't you think?
It is. And I had said that last time, that it's like we can't even have just... Now, when we talk, it's just because we're talking crap about people. Just kidding, but sort of. You know, there are certain things that we keep private between ourselves as friends, like much more personal things, and we can still chit-chat about that. But even when she just came in here, we started chit-chatting, and we both said, nope.
Yep.
Stop talking. Save it.
Save it for the pod, because we want y'all... The point is to let you in on the chaos and funny of our lives.
Yes.
And so if we are sharing it with each other before we press record, then there's a certain amount that's going to be left out.
We can't do a do-over. We've discussed this.
Yeah, when we lost the SD card.
When we lost the SD card. We can't duplicate the reactions, the conversations. We just can't.
No, and there was something, I'm really bad about writing stuff down. That's why I have to tell you to make all of our notes.
Yeah.
But there was something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell her in person. But maybe it'll come to me.
It'll come to you.
I don't know.
But what she had said coming in here is she realized some other words where she leaves out the R.
Oh, yeah. So
and one of them is
roller coaster. I say roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster. And I say the second R, but I don't say the first R. Or Bella used to do roller derby.
Roller derby.
So I say roller derby. Or if I say roller skates.
It's still giving Savannah.
It is still giving Savannah.
I don't know. So I said it is giving a little bit like speech impediment.
You
know, like little kid speech impediment, right?
It is.
And then you said Josh had one.
So Joshua had a speech impediment growing up. And a lot of people I don't think know this, but they will send children to, or they did back in the day, they sent kids to chiropractors to help with speech impediments. And and Joshua would say that the chiropractor would start at the top of his head and go all the way to his toes and would all the way down his body.
No way.
And he said he really thinks it helped his speech impediment.
I have never heard that before. Brian and Lisa Strump, y'all are going to have to chime in here because I have never heard that for speech impediment.
And I'm sure he's told them, and if I was someone who paid enough attention or had recollection, I would be able to say, oh yeah, they said that was a very common occurrence in our field, but I have nothing to add to that. Nothing at all, but I know Joshua has talked about it, and and then I have 2 girls with speech impediments. Well,
wait, does Lily?
Well, Bella has a lisp.
Yeah.
Lily just didn't talk for 2 years.
That's right. And
so when she finally did start talking, of course, there was a lot of correction that we needed to make, but she's fine now. Bella's lisp is almost gone.
As we were talking about this, in my head, I thought, wait a second.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Bella. And recently seeing her, talking to her, the lisp is hardly there anymore.
It's so much lighter, I guess I would say, than it was when she was little. But when she was little, I mean, the S of her lisp was, you know, we tried to work on it. We watched YouTube videos, princesses, trying to say princesses, keep your tongue behind your teeth. Now, I had asked the school, like, do you think it's severe enough that she needs to be pulled out and get therapy and everything? And they said no. And Bella to this day is like, I really wish that you would have gotten me speech therapy, because it can be a little bit maybe of an insecurity for her if she's doing a big speech in front of the class or something like that. But I'm like, I really don't notice it that much. But again, she's my kid. I hear her talk all the time.
Yeah.
But then,
and I do think you rarely see adults that have the lisp. Like,
right.
I can think of the couple of people I know who are adults that have it because it is so rare.
I think you either grow out of it or your parent actually does put you in therapy and helps you with it. Again, follow me for more parenting tips.
But I've also heard that it can be dental work. That as your teeth are changing and shifting, that's going to change your speech as well. So that could have happened to hers.
It could have definitely happened to her, like as all those baby teeth fell out and the adult teeth came in. Maybe her tongue can stay behind that upper row. It's all about your tooth. No, it's all about your tongue staying behind your upper row of teeth. That's what helps
instead of coming out.
Yep, that's what helps prevent the lisp. And then I did no favors to my children because I named them Isabella Miller and Lillian Miller, and neither of them could pronounce their L's. So it was Isabella Mio and Lillian Mio for a long time.
They sound like you trying to say roller coaster.
I know, and I'm like, maybe I got it from them. Not the other way around.
I mean, honestly,
listen, other way around. I just said the other way around.
I think you have just figured out how you do this. This is a moment. We're having a moment. Hang on. You just figured out because you've been around your kids for all of their lives. You've listened to them maybe struggle with certain letter sounds, and maybe that has rubbed off on you.
Yeah. And it's this is what Oprah would call an aha moment.
This is an aha.
It's a big aha moment.
Wow.
Maybe I need to go to Brian and Lisa and have them adjust me head to toe.
Yes. Get some cupping. I know you like that cupping.
Ooh, I love cupping.
You were really into that for a while.
Oh, I love cupping. Yeah, I mean, because she was doing a trade with me, so I didn't have to pay for it.
But you really felt it made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's placebo effect too, like the majority of things I try in my life, that I just chalk it up to placebo, but it does at least, the science behind it is that it sucks all your skin into the cup, so it allows airflow to get underneath, deeper into those muscular tissues.
Okay.
And kind of get some airflow going in there to break up that lactic acid and whatnot. And so,
I mean, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, and that feeling, usually, you know, my sensitive back skin.
I know. For years, I was slapping it. She didn't say a word.
I didn't.
She would not say to me, stop slapping my back skin.
Well, I just know how many friends you have, and I knew the hierarchy of them, and I wanted to climb that ladder.
You wanted to stay at the top.
I was climbing.
You were climbing.
And then I got there.
Yeah, you did.
And I wanted to stay at the top.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that if I told you to please stop slapping my sensitive back skin, that I could come down a rung or two. I didn't know just how teetery those placements are.
Yes, how much right on the edge you could have been. And then I could have gotten home and been like, can you believe she asked me to not touch her back skin? We're not friends anymore.
I mean, this is taking away a vital part of how you show people love and affection.
I slap people, I grab them, I squeeze them.
It's like, I don't know. But Brian, again, going back to the strumps, Brian was my chiropractor for a while. Yeah. And he said that some people's, you know, their epidermis, that their nerve endings are just closer to the tippy top of their skin than other people's.
So that's you.
And it really has nothing to do with like weight or anything.
Yeah.
I know I was fluffy. So he just said some nerve endings are closer. And so when someone would slap my back, it would feel like I was being stabbed.
That is cray.
Yeah. And Josh was like, tell me more about how it feels to get stabbed, Miranda.
Well, and Josh gives the tightest, biggest hugs.
And he has been stabbed.
Yes,
so,
and has been stabbed. Yeah. So he should really see both sides of the coin.
Yeah, and he does, but he does give a nice tight hug.
He does. If y'all ever get the chance.
And a firm handshake.
Yes. If you get the chance to hug Joshua Miller, your back will be cracked.
People are like, it's really hard. We don't even know if he exists.
He does
Because
exist.
we don't see him much, but he does exist.
Did, Matt told me that Brian Strump told him, again, we're playing telephone, but that the girls, when they were coming with Josh to CrossFit, that, you know, they were going at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
That other people there knew the girls.
Yes.
They recognized the girls. They didn't recognize Josh.
You told me this story recently, right?
Oh, I don't know if did Matt tell you?
Yes, Matt told me before you came over last time and we were having our conversation.
I didn't know if you heard this.
Conversation.
Conversation. having conversations on the roller coasters. Wow. Okay, but y'all, this is so funny. So Joshua is taking the girls to these 5 a.m. CrossFit classes.
Yeah, Joshua does CrossFit.
Yeah, and the girls were kind of doing, I think, over the summer.
Just, going sometimes with him.
And people at the gym recognized Bella and Lily.
Yeah.
Did not know Josh because Josh doesn't show his face anywhere. And so they would go to Brian Strump and say,
Miranda and Charlotte's kids are here.
Why are Miranda and Charlotte's kids here with that man?
Yeah. Who's that man?
Who is that man that they're with? Does she know that they're here with this guy?
Yeah.
Like, they were concerned that this was a strange man that your girls were linking up with at 5 a.m.
So, the whole thing's bizarre because I know where my kids are at 5 a.m.
Right?
Typically.
Yeah.
I love when you do that.
Right?
Not to be confused with
Do you
all
see
the
our
praise.
Do you see our cover photo?
No, I haven't seen the cover photo yet. All I did was listen on the way to Awaken. And I'm like 45 minutes into our episode right now.
Die at the
I
cover
can't
photo.
wait to see the cover photo and all the random. Did you like my callback to Highlights magazine?
Oh, it was so good. And my kids still get highlights. We still get
They
that
do?
delivered. Or yeah, I mean now Lachlan's reading it, but we've gotten it for years.
I didn't know that Highlights still existed.
Highlights, reading with a purpose, baby. It still exists. Get on my level. Goofus and Gallant? Are you kidding me?
I had no clue that
Yes.
Highlights still existed. The last time I saw
Yes.
them is when I was going to my pediatrician's office when I was little.
It's still around. We just got the Halloween one. I know. I'll bring it in.
Please, I need the receipt. I need this on the receipt.
I'll bring it in.
So I had said that Kristen's cover photos for our YouTube are filled with so many call outs from the episodes.
Yes.
And like it's like looking at a Highlights magazine when you had to
Totally.
find the hidden stuff.
It totally is.
It's so good. Oh, that is so if y'all didn't know that, podcATTS exclusive, obviously.
Yes.
If you haven't thought about Highlights magazine since you were a kid, and now you have kids, and you're like, oh man, I wish that they still had that.
That's still there.
They do.
And guess what?
What?
They have something called High Five, and that's for,
Yes,
for
I
your
did.
kids that are like 1 to 5.
Yes.
And then you graduate up to the highlights.
Okay.
And they can really start to read and do
Okay.
those things.
I had heard of the High Five.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to also teach our podcats.
What?
Did we teach them the trick of that?
I don't know if we did, but if somebody's new here, we're going to tell you now.
Okay, so the trick of doing a successful high five
Yes.
with your friend.
Yes.
And again, best friend, highest rung.
Yes. Best is space friend.
2 words.
High/5.
Yeah, we can do.
High space 5.
Yeah, it's fine. Either one. I think in certain slang terms, it's okay.
Okay.
And like a high five is kind of slang.
Okay. Okay.
To me.
Okay.
Best friend is not. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands up, and the key is not to look at the hands, but to look at the elbows.
Okay, you're going to look at your
partner's elbow. Look at that.
And you're going to get secure contact every time. Every time. If you don't want to look like a fool
Yeah.
or an idiot out here trying to high five people, you need to look at their elbow.
Yeah,
But
just
make sure
miss
they
it.
know to look at your elbow.
Yeah, you're looking at each other's elbows. So you're welcome.
Okay.
And highlights still exist. So if you want to turn it off here, you've already learned enough.
And we're only 18 minutes in.
We've given them so much.
And I've pushed the big red button.
Good, thank God.
I've checked 6 times. You
I
guys
don't-
will see me glancing.
I don't know if I deleted enough videos to keep mine recording.
Oh, boy.
Let me go look at that.
Okay, go look.
Pause.
Pause.
Entertain the YouTube.
All right. I'm not going to pull my titty out like I did that one time. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't delete me off YouTube. I love a mockumentary.
Oh,
I live
Oh.
for a mockumentary. Have you
Same.
seen
which
all...
one are you watching?
Well, have you seen all of the Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman?
I have seen a lot of them. I've seen Best in Show,
Okay.
which I
is so
love.
good. I think Matt and I either mimic something from it or quote it once a week. We
Yeah.
love Best in Show.
I love Best in Show, but I have not seen Waiting for Guffman, and I know that it is certain, like Smartlist talks about it, I think, as a favorite movie.
It is. Again, California will be a sight for these weary eyes. It is.
I do not know those.
It will change your life. I need you to watch
Okay.
it more than Independence Day.
Because wow.
Yeah.
Because
I
that
think
made
it's
you
more-
so sick.
I know.
I was sick. I was sick. You're so sick. Sickening. Every version of the word sick was used in a 2-minute span of time. And at first I thought, do I just make this the whole video? Do I just crop it down? Just have her yelling
Say
at
it's
me.
sick.
Me turning bright red. feeling the wrath, the fire breathing off of her mouth. And then I said, no, I'm going to clip all the funnies together.
Oh, that was so
I
good.
I could have just nailed it down to those 2 minutes and called it a day and worked for like 5 minutes last week.
When you are an Enneagram 7, okay, there's 2 wings. You can be a wing 6, you can be a wing 8.
Mm-hmm.
I am not someone with a strong wing either way.
Mm-mm.
I am just, I've balanced wings is what they call it.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm leaning into 6, and that's when I'm being prepared.
Okay.
Making sure we have an escape plan.
Okay.
Making sure, doing the prepping. All of that stuff is my 6 coming.
Right.
But the 8 is when I can get aggressive. And y'all need to know that.
That's what I'm saying. The reason why I asked with judgment eyes is I feel like 8 is much stronger.
You feel like my 8 is stronger.
Than your 6?
It depends on what's going on.
What's going on? Oh, I did start a Spotify podcast list.
You did?
I did.
Yay!
I meant to tell you. Maybe that's it.
Maybe that was it.
But yes, I started a podcATTS playlist.
Good.
And any song that we have sang during an episode, mentioned during an episode. And so this is random, y'all.
It's going to be so random.
The podcATTS list is random.
Well, on this last episode, we did Let Me Clear My Throat.
It's on there.
It's on there.
Mm-hmm.
You remembered all these songs?
As I was listening through and editing down that video, I was adding the songs that we would sing or talk about to the list. And I went back a couple episodes and already started going from the beginning.
I'm obsessed with that.
Even the worship song that I was
singing.
the worship song. Come From Away, Welcome to the Rock.
Yes,
I have
Orlando.
I have an Islander. I have Orlando from the Book of Mormon. It's all on there.
Oh my gosh, I'm
dying.
Yeah.
So,
another one.
Yep.
Another one.
I can't remember on the spot like that. But like, who was it? That gospel song that I was like playing when I was behind the wide load.
Yes, when you were trying to keep perspective.
Yeah, I that's on there.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. So how do we find this?
So on Spotify, you're gonna search the word podcATTS.
Okay, I can do that.
PODCATTS, just like our website, podcats.com.
Yep.
So the Spotify should say podcast, but I'll also include the link on our stories. We'll make a little post about it, too.
Oh my gosh, good job.
Thank you.
Again, it's one of those things we've been talking about.
We've been saying it and never did. And I went over to play the St. Jude list, and I said, you know what? I'm going to start this new list right now. And so because the Spotify, it's like, through my account or whatever.
Yeah, it's through you.
It's through me, so it's not like I get anything for it. There's no way to monetize it or anything like that. So, but I pay for the premium subscription so that there's no ads or anything. And so I felt like, well, then this is smart because we don't want to have to open a new account to pay for another thing.
No, we don't need to open a new account for this.
No, I didn't think that we did.
No.
So I'll attach the link, but if you're like, oh, why does it say Miranda? Because I think it's still through my Spotify.
Well, we are the brand.
Yeah.
Right?
We are one.
We are one. We are the brand.
And two become one. Like Spice Girls.
Girls.
Underrated. One of my favorite hits. It's going on right now. The reason why I said it is so that I can put it on. And to become one, I need your love like I never needed love before. Wanna make love to you, baby. I want to read, Sporty Spice just put out a new book. I want to read it. But I hope it doesn't
drag the Spice Girls.
Mm-hmm.
You think it will?
I don't know. I just don't want to find out anything that I'll be disappointed about.
I think you should read it though.
Because I really like it.
You like Spice Girls. You love British.
Oh,
it's definitely up your alley. Feels like a great fall read to me, actually. Okay.
Well,
when I think of Britain, I think of fall. When I think of London, London equals fall.
Oh, to you?
100%.
Oh, okay.
100%. Maybe because it's cloudy and
I think of foggy, rainy showers. So I'm thinking maybe April.
Wow.
April showers.
Interesting.
Bring Mayflowers.
What do
Mayflowers bring? You learned it many episodes ago.
Mayflowers bring pilgrims.
That's right. Who were coming from Britain. So look at that.
I'm so proud of my menopausal brain.
I am proud of you too.
Oh.
Now, it's fine. I don't know if
because we're doing this arm to arm.
I still looked at your elbow.
Okay, I saw. Okay, so listen. First of all, how I meant to start this podcast was to say, welcome to All That to Slay.
Oh, beer, 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 beer.
Because you guys, it's October, baby. It's
and we're
October.
S-L-A-Y.
S-L-A-Y. So all that to slay.
And who gave us that?
Was it Josie?
No.
Who was it?
My sister-in-law, Jamie.
Yes, Jamie. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, was it
What,
Jamie?
it was in the pool? Did Jade or Jamie say that while we were, at the pool?
I know, but I'm trying to remember.
Or maybe, okay.
My brain. Or did they give us the Christmas one?
So Josie might have said the night before, it's all that to slay while we were at Horror Nights.
Yeah.
And then we were telling Jamie about
And
that.
but don't tell him.
No.
Don't tell him the Christmas one.
Okay.
Y'all gonna have to wait.
We're gonna make y'all lose your minds up in here. Going on the playlist.
So, all that to slay for the month of October. Know that. I don't know what it means. I don't know what we're going to do for it, but I love the name and I think it's precious. So, just pretend that this says slay. Here's an L.
Oh, well, we can just add an L there.
Yeah.
You know what? We can just go get a regular glow stick. Like a glow stick, and we'll just tape it on.
I gotta write that down.
Yeah, put a stick glow stick in the notes app.
Get glow stick.
Did we put that in the entrance to our Patreon?
What?
Did we say?
Oh, put it in the app.
Put it in the notes?
I gotta
put
check.
it in the notes?
If I didn't, I need to come in here, record it
How did
myself,
we
and
not-
put it on there.
How did we not include that?
What are your, when I was thinking about all that to slay, what are y'all thinking you're going to do for Halloween costumes this year?
No, that we do not think this far ahead.
It's like a month away.
I understand that, and I'll still be ordering something from Amazon overnighted for $2.99 on October 29th. Because when's your party?
The 27th.
Okay, so then I'll be doing it on the 26th. I don't know.
Well, you need to start figuring it out.
I think Lily's doing The Last of Us.
Okay.
I think she's Ellie from The Last of Us. And Bella is going in a couple's costume with her boyfriend, Jack.
What are they going to be?
It is something from some sort of game, maybe.
Okay.
It's two characters from a game, and the characters, it's so cute because the characters are always known to hold hands.
Oh.
I know. So they picked a costume where they can hold hands the whole time.
That reminds me of
So
those socks with the magnets.
Yes.
In the hands, and
Yes.
you stand next to your friend, and the magnets come together,
They join.
and they hold hands.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Bella and Jack need those.
I know they do need those, but we also need those.
Yeah, we do.
The Instagram ad keeps coming up for me. They're like, hey, you keep talking about it. We're listening through the phone. Why aren't you buying these yet?
Yeah, the ad keeps coming for me too.
But one of the gifts he gave her for her birthday is the stuffed animals of those two characters.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Really cute.
Okay, well, I can't wait to see. Is
Yeah.
Jack going to come to our party?
I don't know about that. Is he invited as part
Yes,
of the
of
crew?
course. If he would like to come.
Okay, well, I will ask him if he would like to join us.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, it's really cute. They're very sweet.
It would be, what's that phrase? Baptism by fire?
Yeah, it's called Baptism by Fire, and you might as well meet everybody at once.
Yes, so he would really meet everybody.
He sure would. And I actually think it's probably good because Halloween, everyone's dressed in costume.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes some of the pressure off of like,
it's
this
not a
is
formal,
who I am.
Yeah, it's not a formal thing.
Well, it's not a formal thing, but also like, oh, hi, I'm Gigi, or I'm Buckley, or I'm Aaron, or whatever. Yeah. And he's kind of like, well, you're in this bell gown. So it kind of just takes a little bit of the pressure off, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay.
Also for him, like, what do I wear? What do I say?
Yeah.
Like, it's a Halloween party.
It's
Let's
already
have fun.
done. And they already know what their costume's going to be. So I'll have to ask if they're going to join us for the party.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm excited.
I think that's about all I can share.
I think we are going to do a Mario vibe.
Oh,
because Mario was big this year.
So good. It was so huge.
Super Mario Brothers came out. Lachlan has just been requesting, just generally speaking, to be Toad.
Okay.
He just wants to be Toad.
A Toad.
A Toad.
Doesn't he carry around?
With the mushroom hat.
Oh, okay. But he knows who the character is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I feel like he carries something around, but it's not a Toad.
He carries.
I know he carries everything.
You've seen it all.
It's a lot.
It's 10,
cars.
12, 14 items.
Animal.
Matt's bringing him down the stairs, and he has an armload of stuffies.
Yeah.
So, it's ever-changing.
Is he allowed to take those to school?
He can take stuffies to school, like one or two, but they have to stay in the backpack.
Okay.
So he just likes knowing they're in there.
Okay.
And I think that's sweet. That's kind of a little comfort thing. The stuffies are in there.
Okay, got it.
And then he'll come home.
Does he want to take the bear? The town bear?
Absolutely. He is not touching my town bank bear.
Okay.
No one better come in here and take my town bank bear.
No, they better not. Not with those cuffs on the ankles.
And you. Not with these fancy cuffs.
Not with those.
And you already got a customer service nod from Josh. because he's going to send you a new card.
Yes, he is. He was,
which was so nice.
I think he was very disappointed in me for sharing
that,
that the say was missing, and I said,
it tracks.
It tracks because we're trash, and so and you know what? Maybe people don't want me to say as much, so the say was marked out. And he said, "No, this is not what it should look like. It needs to look perfect from us." So he's sending a new card,
which is so good. But is
such great customer service.
Does that mean you're going to have to redo the pin all over again?
I'm going to have to. Oh boy.
I know
that you watching me have to accomplish a task, and it's not that you haven't before, but I felt like that day.
Yeah,
it said a lot. Go ahead and tell the podcast.
Yeah. So I gave her debit card from Town Bank, and with it comes a separate piece of paper that's been mailed with the PIN number on it that you can set it up with. And so I think it was right here, right?
Yeah, it was right in here, and I took a picture.
She took a picture of the PIN number because I said, you're going to lose this paper.
And there's no way you're going to remember these 4 digits,
yes.
You also said.
Yes, so just take a picture.
Which is true.
And then she wanted to set it up when we were down in Orlando.
Yeah, because I thought, should we pay for this lunch through the All That to Say account?
Absolutely.
Because we're going to talk about it. Here we are.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
This is a write-off.
It's content, and it's a write-off.
And it's just like the write-off people will let us do the write-off.
Yes, in the government. The write-off government people. So she sits here. She's trying to set it up. It's asking for the PIN.
I'm literally sitting at our lunch.
It's on speakerphone, so I can hear what it's asking her. She looks at me. She's like, I don't know the PIN. I said, remember I told you to take a picture. So she hangs up. She pulls that up. Then she comes back. Then she calls again.
Then you have to type in the 16-digit number again.
Yeah, and then the 16 digits didn't work.
No.
So you had to do it again and again. And then finally it said, ask for the code. So you put it in, and it says, great, your card's been activated. And just as you were going to hang up, it says, would you like to enter a new PIN that you can remember easily? And then you hung up.
I'm like, oh, that's what I was supposed to do.
You were like, why did I hang up? The woman couldn't spit her words out fast enough. The robot. Would you like to enter a new PIN?
No.
And that was it.
Say PIN one more time. And I just hung it up. And I said, I can't. I said, Kristen goes, well, call back.
And she looked at me and I looked at her.
I said, I don't have it in me.
Yeah, I did. I said, call back and do it.
She goes, just call right back. And then they're going to ask you the same questions. I said, I don't have it in me.
I cannot.
I can't do it. Because again, I can do hard things, but I can't do easy.
Yeah.
It's just not in my genetic make. I don't know what it is about me that I will sit you in the depths of your pain, do the hardest thing that anyone has to do. You know, I can do it all. But to call and try to activate a card, type in a 4-digit PIN, recall a picture, try to remember, and I typed it in wrong, and then the pound sign, and then I forgot the pound sign one time, and all the things. And Kristen's just watched me like,
I'm watching that.
How does she get through a day? How?
I was just saying to Matt the other day. Because there's several people in my life that either recently have ADHD diagnosis or might have a child in my life that might be soon. And so this has kind of been on my mind. And I think, we see the reels and stuff.
Yeah.
And I watch things and I wonder, do I have this a little bit, or am I just a normal person that sometimes gets distracted? Not that you're not normal.
Yeah, no. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And so
I'm the first to admit I am far from normal.
I mean, I'm not normal either.
The self-awareness is high.
Yeah, it is high.
Very high.
But so I think because the ADHD of it all has kind of been swirling, and you're kind of seeing it more and more people talking about it, more adults talking about it, definitely.
Yes.
So I'm sitting here wondering, do I have a little bit of this? Sometimes I feel like I can't get things done.
Yeah.
But
it's not that.
It's not that.
It's a paralyzation.
To hear from some family members of mine that have it, to watch you sometimes struggle with things, I see it and I go, okay, that's not me. There might be things in my life that I maybe procrastinate or I feel lazy about or whatever. But for me, when it comes down to, I decide I need to now go get something done, I will get it done. It doesn't matter how many distractions. It doesn't matter what time of day or what's going on. I'll just get it done.
It's amazing.
But I watch you
just paralyzed.
Or other folks, and it's like you shut down.
I literally, I just power off.
Yeah.
Just like, and just go into myself. And I don't, the brain can't get out of it. I don't know how really to describe it, except for, I know a lot of people talk about analysis paralysis, right? Figuring out what's the next thing to do and that you're paralyzed by it. I almost wake up every morning paralyzed by all of those things and then have to really talk myself into, okay, this is the next right step, and this is the next right step, and you've committed to this at 9:30, so now you have to get ready early enough.
Yes.
Leave your home. Drive yourself there.
Yeah.
You could, did you get gas? You don't know. I mean, today, Kristen, what happened? I was supposed to be here at 11:30.
But it was fine, but you couldn't find your car in the parking lot.
I could not find my car in the parking lot. I had parked it there an hour and a half beforehand. Now, it's one thing. It's one thing if you're going to the Spectrum Center.
Sure, yeah.
And you know, it's chaos coming in and you're trying to find a place to park. And then you go into the concert and you have 13 beers.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you come out 7 hours later after something amazing's happened.
And you're confused.
Yeah. Because, oh gosh, out of these 13,000 rows, where did I park? That would make sense.
Sure. But you've been in a church for an hour and a half.
I've been in a church for an hour and a half. I am not wasted.
No.
I can assure you. And there's only so many places to park because there are gates covering so many of the parking lot spots.
That's true.
You know, because they have a school there and they have this there and that there. So they're already full and so they're already blocked off. So I'm like, it can only be from here to here.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember if it was this road, this road, this road, or this road. I start walking up and down. I mean, to the point where someone stopped me in the parking lot and said, "You don't know where your car is, do you?" I said, "I don't." Oh yeah. One of the Bible study girls.
Oh, no.
She said, "You don't know." And I believe that we follow each other. And so she knows me enough to know that I'm very much lost. And I had my key out.
And so you were pushing your key to honk honk? I was going to ask.
Oh, no. But I was so far from it, it wasn't even reaching it.
So you weren't even in the right section.
Was not even the right section. So I finally found it, but it took me about 15 minutes to find my car.
Oh, my
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so your brain is just in another stratosphere.
It is. It's in another realm. Yeah. I don't know where, but it is maddening. It's frustrating to live in a brain that you feel like is working against you instead of with you.
Yes.
And so because of, and then some things happened yesterday too that I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it done. There's things to get done. Come on.
And I've talked to you about, so y'all, now I am not super organized, okay? However, I can force myself into process.
Yes.
Right? So it's not coming organically for me, but I can make myself do it. And one of those things is making lists.
Yeah, I know.
I've shown you my binder.
You do a great job.
So y'all, it's not super organized. Just every Sunday, I am writing down a list of everything I need to do that week. It's not in order.
No.
It's just a mind.
It's not day by day. It's not just a mind dump.
It's a mind dump. It's literally just lines on a page, and I write down, boom, 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 boom. Here's the 25 things that need to get done this week that I need to do. Things going on, games, kids stuff, whatever. And I write it down, and I feel so good as I mark things off.
Yeah.
Each day, I get to mark that thing off, mark that off, and then I feel great. And some things don't get marked off. That's fine. Guess what? They go to the next week.
They go to the next week, and you've told me that
back and
from
forth.
May, certain things have literally carried over.
And I don't get mad at myself for it. I just say this thing obviously wasn't a priority. If it was, I would have already done it.
Yeah.
So it's just going to keep going down the page. So I've shown this to you,
and you bought me one,
and I bought you a little notebook
for my.
Here's the things to do.
Yes.
Have you?
I did find that. I found the paper pad that you gave me.
Okay.
I did.
So what if you on Sundays?
I know.
During football even.
Yeah, I could do it during football. Because I am going to be watching
it
for about 11 hours that
you're
day.
going to be sitting down on your couch next door and you're going to be watching football.
Yes.
So get your pad out and as you think of things, write it down.
Okay, I could do that. I know it does feel good to cross things off. I do hear people say that a lot. It's the idea then I have to be able to keep I have to find the pad.
Yes.
That I have to know where it is.
Okay.
That then I have to be accountable to it. And then I have to remember to cross it off.
And remember to look at it.
And remember to look at it.
I need to come over and maybe we pick a space that it's gonna live. And a certain pen that you use every time.
Okay.
I have my special pen that I like for mine. And we just do it.
Yeah. I hope that there are some podcasts out there that are deeply relating
I
to
know that
both
there
sides
are.
of this.
I know that there are.
Because, typically little girls didn't get diagnosed with ADHD when we were younger. It was, they thought was a boy thing.
Yep.
And that boys are rowdy and rambunctious and they can't focus. And so they got diagnosed with ADHD. And so that's why we're seeing this influx in women, especially in their 30s and 40s and 50s, going, I can't accomplish a single task. And it's not an unwillingness. It's just like, it's a brokenness.
Yeah.
I cannot describe it in any other way. Other way. And so
That's the one.
and so I finally did. I got diagnosed at 40 with ADHD, and it was like, this all makes sense now. But I do try to restrict myself. I don't follow ADHD pages. You know this about me. I do not follow all the things because I don't need any other additional information coming into my brain. One, I'm already overwhelmed with information, but two, it can almost convince you of things, kind of to your point. Let me give a perfect...
because I'm following some of these things, or I follow someone.
Yes.
An example, Living with MB, on her stories the other day, she talked about living with ADHD and what that looks like, because someone had come on and said, oh, I just think you're depressed. In her comment or in her inbox, they said, you're just depressed, that's why you can't get things done. And she came back on and said, no, I've been depressed and I know what that looks like for me. Yeah. It was a really hard time in my life. Yeah. This is not that. It's ADHD. It's I wake up and I am paralyzed by the things I know I need to do.
Yes. It's a paralyzation.
Yeah.
And I finally, got diagnosed, finally got Adderall. Did I notice a difference? Of course I noticed a difference. Could I also not sleep? Sure.
Yeah.
So then I had to give up the Adderall, but I did take half a pill this morning because I struggled so bad yesterday. That I said, you're going to take half a pill and you're going to take it early enough because you're getting up for a Bible study.
Good.
And maybe this will help you be able to pay attention better during the study.
Yes.
I think it did. It will make me perform better, hopefully, on this podcast because I'll be able to recall things. and I just said, you owe this to yourself to try again. So again,
good. I'm so glad.
I'm in this process of my life, I think, right now where I am trying things because I am so sick of saying, well, that's just not for me.
Yep.
It's just not for me. I'll never be that.
Yep.
I could never do that.
Yep.
I wouldn't let my children talk like that.
No.
I'll tell you that. I would never let
factory.
them.
That's what I said last time. We're all churning out the excuses for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we can't, it's okay to have grace with yourself sometimes. But we also have to, like you said, that accountability.
I have to be willing to say, is it fair for me to say, this just isn't for me if I've never even given it a shot?
No.
And so that's what I said about Hilliard.
That's true.
I said, that place isn't for me. It's full of rich, snotty women who show up to say that they worked out, but they really don't. And they just look that way because they're God's favorites.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay? Very wrong about that. Extremely wrong about that. And I will be humbling myself to admit that forever, as long as Lee and Liz will listen to me say it. Then, Bible study. Yeah. I said, you know what?
Let's talk about the Bible study.
Okay, let's talk about Bible study.
Okay, because something we've discussed is that Miranda is in a season of change. Mm-hmm. And
not intentionally.
Not intentionally.
I never said that. No. Because I could never actually be pulled enough together to be like, 23 new me.
She did not like make a vision board and hang it up in her house and look at it every morning and say, this is the new me. These are things that have just kind of come organically happened. Obviously, we know about the weight loss. We know about the fitness of it all. Yeah. But we've mentioned the Bible study enough on here. Mm-hmm. And you've mentioned it, I think, some on your stories. Mm-hmm. And so that what you're thinking is some of your followers are feeling like we don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah, I think that
who are you?
I think that some people, who are you? Going on Spotify. I think that some people are probably looking at me, and maybe this is why I'm unbearable lately.
Yeah.
Sure. That they're saying, wait, you're a lose weight girly now. You're a workout girly now. You're a church girly now?
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm just like any of these things overnight magically. It's that I am finally, and again, not sought out to do this whatsoever, but I'm just finally trying to prioritize things.
Yeah.
And even if they feel different, that, maybe it just took losing some weight to realize that I could have a change in myself.
Yes.
That I had resigned myself for so long to just saying, this is who you are now. There's nothing you can do about it. You've tried all the things. And this is me now.
Yeah.
You know? From The Greatest Showman. And on that'll go
This is me. Oh.
Yeah, I can't hit any of those notes, so I didn't even try. But I can do this is me. I can do that part.
This is me. That was like a metal version.
Yeah, it is. It's a little Slipknot. So maybe, I'm just cycling through all this right now in my brain, that I'm thinking maybe it took seeing that to change for me to then realize that this could change and this could change and this could change. But all of these, in some of these changes, I hope that they're permanent. And in other of these changes, I can't tell you that yet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, and also, as your friend, like over the years, I've seen you try different things. I've seen you, like you were vegan for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
You did vegan for a while.
I'll try anything.
You did Sober 17.
Yeah.
You have gone through seasons in your life, and that's okay. It doesn't mean who you are on the inside has fundamentally changed.
Correct, y'all. When I was vegan, I just shared recipes. Did I share one single thing about like animal cruelty or you need to feel this way or watch this stuff? I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't watch any of those either. That was not my journey and where I was coming from. So it's not like I'm doing these things and then beating people over the head with it.
Never.
So same thing is kind of for Bible studies. Let me give you just a quick little religious history of Miranda.
Yeah, religious history, and then kind of give them the lead up to how this came to be.
Yeah, so I grew up Catholic. I've mentioned that several times. That's why I'm full of guilt and shame as just core values. Like, you're Blackstone, I'm guilt and shame.
Yes.
Your basement, I'm guilt and shame.
I'm cleaning out, you're feeling guilty and shame.
Yes, about not cleaning out.
Yeah.
So I grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school my entire life, the whole thing. I in Catholicism, and I know some of our Catholic friends could maybe challenge me on this, but this is my personal experience.
Yeah.
In Catholicism, I did not get the personal relationship with God or Jesus as being this forefront to the faith. It until I went to college and met this girl, Pelham, on my floor, I had never heard someone say, what's your personal relationship with Christ like? Literally.
Oh, wow. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Through all of Catholic school, church, and everything.
No.
So I think that I think we've spoken about back in the 80s and 90s, there were some church things, not just in the Catholic Church, but Protestant, whatever, that they were doing wrong, right? So this, I think, is one of them, that in the Catholic Church, it was just more about stand up, sit down, and, going through the motions and reciting and confessing and following the rules. And it really, nothing personal about it at all.
Right. And so and even just the idea that like you have to speak to a priest to confess your sins and that he will hand down the punishment from God.
Yeah.
There is something in that is a barrier.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. There's a barrier there. And that's very
I'm
foreign.
trying.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. Be curious, not judgmental.
I'm not being judgmental.
Exactly.
Some of my dearest people that I love and adore are Catholic. But that's what I'm saying is I feel like what I know of them now, that the Catholic Church now has become a softer place to land.
Yeah.
Let me say that.
Yeah, I think that some of that has happened, but still enough that I never then went back to that faith.
Yeah.
And then I married a Baptist boy.
Yeah.
So Josh and I both came in. He came Baptist. I came Catholic. We joined a non-denominational church when we got pregnant with Bella so that she never felt like she had to choose.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because I do think that, and there's value in that, and Elizabeth Poplin talks about it, how she grew up Baptist and Catholic, I believe. And she went to this and she went to this. She went to both churches every week and listened to her parents, on both sides.
Yeah.
And she didn't say this, but this is what my fear for our kids was, that eventually they would have to or want to or choose to select a faith, and that ultimately they would feel like they were picking a parent, not a faith.
Sure.
And I never wanted to do that. Josh and I never wanted to do that to our girls. And so we decided to both leave Baptist and Catholic and find a non-denominational.
Meet in the middle with that old Georgia pride. Gain a lot of ground. If we
meet in the middle. I think there's a part of that.
Meet in the middle.
That's going on Spotify.
Yeah.
How many? We're going to try to get all the songs. There's going to be a quiz. Which songs did we talk about or sing?
Oh, I love
Get ready,
that
podcast was coming.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Of course. You finally had. Oh. Ow. Sorry, y'all.
That kind of sounds like a hiss.
Our cat meow is back, but with an added hiss. Which actually kind of tracks,
I
too.
kind of like that.
I like that.
Never mind. I'm not taking it out.
Like that. Where'd you download that from?
I don't know. It was on my laptop.
Okay, so we...
You know, something has to go wrong on every episode.
Of course it does.
Always.
Well, I mean, my phone stopped recording.
Yeah.
Our
screensaver's
back on, so now we can't see ourselves.
Cats are hissing.
Yeah, the cats are hissing. It's fine.
That's
Those chia oats look horrific. That's gone wrong, too. I can tell you that. But so then we did the non-denominational church thing. Didn't want our kids to have to choose. It was a Bible preaching church. We went to it for years. Kylie and Andrew brought us in.
Yeah.
And I was a Sunday school teacher there.
Yeah, which is wild.
For people to think about.
I mean,
it's funny.
Again, add it to the list of jobs. Now, everyone had to be a Sunday school teacher because we didn't have regular Sunday school teachers. Yeah, so they were kind of regular.
So we would rotate. But of course, when it was my turn, I played the part. I did all the things.
I said you were great.
I said exactly what I needed to, and I'm great at crafts.
Yeah.
And kids are great for me.
Yeah.
So we're keeping them in line. Everybody's doing a great job. And then, some things happened, were said, and I was just like, I don't know if this is the right place for us anymore. I wanted to feel like that no matter who we decided to bring on any Sunday as a guest of ours, that they would feel comfortable, that they would walk out going, I'm closer to God than I was when I walked in. Yeah. And there were just a few things that were said.
That they're not feeling condemned.
Yes. And I said, there's a few friends in my life I don't think I could have brought on this Sunday.
Sure.
And that didn't feel good to me.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not going to bring my friends, then why am I sitting there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, we just kind of made a decision that maybe this wasn't the right place for us. And we tried a few other churches. Mm-hmm. I went to many others speaking at this one or that one and tried to feel the people out and everything. Did I give it an A effort? No, I'll admit that. Did not give it an A effort. Was invited to many churches, whether it was yours or from other friends, and said yes to some and eventually showed up to, I think, all of them. Yeah. If you invited me, I'm pretty sure that I went or we went or whatever. But certainly I've been pulled away for a long time. I mean...
And I don't think that...
Years and years and years.
I don't think that your story is... I don't want to say your story is not unique, but I think there's plenty of people that are nodding their head going, yeah,
for sure.
That was me. I grew up maybe in a kind of problematic situation, or maybe some things were said, and, and that the whole thought of religion and religious places and religious people is just kind of icky to some folks. And religious people now need to recognize that and say... Open their arms and be the warm place and be the soft place to land now and say, that was wrong then and we can do better now.
That's right.
Come give it a try.
Yeah. How do we bring more people? And that's why, I really loved going to Easter with y'all. And I know we talked about it on here. We had some giggles, but it was, Pastor Mike was up there saying all sin is forgiven.
Yeah.
All.
Yeah.
Not some, not all but one.
Yeah.
He said all sin is forgiven. And it was a beautiful message to hear as someone who hadn't been inside of a church for so long to say, oh, I can start here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clean slate.
And so that planted a seed.
That's
probably.
Right. Yeah.
Planted the seed. And I know that delights you.
It really does.
I mean, I was going to say something vulgar, but we're talking about church, so I'm not. But you know what I was going to say.
I know what you were going to say.
And you podcats know. So just let's close our eyes, put it in our minds real quick, and let's get back into Bible study. So...
So the seed was planted.
So maybe the seed was planted a little bit there, and it was comforting to, I think, hear him say that. Yeah. And I know how deeply you respect him, and the words coming out of his mouth obviously mean a lot to you. And so I was just like, hey, he said all. So we're okay.
Yeah.
If we just show up.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it's all good.
It's all good.
And so then, I mean, a million people have invited me to Awaken.
Yeah.
A lot. Okay?
Yeah. And if you are not a Charlotte, North Carolina podcast,
okay,
Awaken Bible Study is a fantastic study here in South Charlotte, led by Elizabeth Poplin. It's out of Carmel Baptist Church. And when this started years and years and years ago, I was in the first class to do it.
Of course you were. No doubt about it.
Yeah. I was in that first class, baby.
She said, sign me up.
So that would have been about 10 years ago is when it started.
Yeah.
And so I did the only 4. So she does 4 studies and she does them in a rotation. So I did those 4 back to back and then I got booted out. They're like, once you do it, you need to move on and keep growing in your faith. And that's great.
Well, what you have to do is leave more room for others because this thing sells out in seconds.
That's it. So word really got out that Awaken is amazing. It is a judgment-free zone. It is a place to laugh and cry and hear truth spoken and taught from an incredible leader in Elizabeth.
And I think she said 27 denominations are represented in this Bible study room right now. So I know I'm not the only Catholic. We have Jewish people, Catholics, Protestants, Episcopalian, like there's everybody.
And it's all women.
It's not just Baptist. She said, don't let the Baptist on the outside confuse you.
Yeah. And it's all women.
Yeah.
And not all, but most of them are moms. But it can be people from all different age ranges.
Yeah.
20s up to, I was with women in their 60s.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure.
It just is such a great time. And so you had been invited by all of these people in your life. We've all done it.
I mean, over the last decade, the amount of people have said, Miranda, would you join us for Awaken? We can invite you. So it's very hard to like get on the list and then it sells out very quickly. And there was a little bit of me that was like, I don't know. That kind of feels icky to me that like, really are people, can't you open up the book and just read and why are people clamoring and Elizabeth, what would she do? And it's kind of like the putting her up there, I don't know, there was just some of it that I was a little bit like right, it was giving me some form of ick and I wasn't able to put my finger on it.
Sure.
But also as we've talked about, like anything that's popular and all the rage and everybody wants to do it, I'm like, then I'll be over there.
Yeah, that's not your thing.
I'll be over there then.
She does not own one of these babies.
Absolutely not, and I won't own a Stanley. Let me just pick this thing. It's too heavy. It's too this is a weapon. Now I might get it as a weapon.
This is the small one.
That's stupid.
This is the small Stanley.
No.
And the bigger ones are
no. And this idea of the releases and the colors and everyone's just trying to create a sense of urgency so that y'all will spend more money, so that you feel like it's cool and I don't like that. I don't like it. So I'm rebelling against Stanley, and they spill, and you know it, and I know it, and it is one of the worst ones to spill. So you want to talk about, it's the only cup that keeps things cold. No, it's not.
It's not. Well, we know that ain't true.
I know, but it's the best. No, it's not. There's a girl on my reels that showed that this is one of the worst to keep things cold, and it spills the most. So why are y'all all clamoring for the new, ecru shade? Stop.
I want to see this reel.
I'm going to show it to you. I'm
Find
going to
it. Find it because I want to know.
Phone. Remember what I just said.
Okay, find it.
So I didn't go for all these times. And then, so what I would say is, it's just not for me. This just isn't for me. Guys, Bible study is not for me.
Yeah.
I haven't been to church in a long time. Bible study is not for me. I don't even know what I think. Now, here's the bottom line is this. Something can't come from nothing. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that scientifically and I know that spiritually, right? That something can't come from nothing. Physically, I know it. All the Elise, I know it.
Mentally, emotionally, physically,
yes, remember,
spiritually.
You talked about this so long ago. So I know that. And then I also do believe that when it comes to the who's right and who's wrong, that I do believe that it's better to believe and be wrong than to not believe and be wrong.
That's
right. I can see the value in that line as well.
Yeah.
Everything else to me was kind of like up in the air.
It is. And it always has been.
That's me being very honest with y'all.
Yes.
Please do not again abuse my honesty. Do not abuse my honesty. There are lots of things in your life that you are not deeply honest about, and I do not question you about it, and then I wouldn't hold it against you. So do not abuse my honesty here. But a lot of the other stuff was just big old question marks for me.
And I can recall conversations you and I have had over the years where you would say, well, what about this? And what about that? How is that possible? And this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And while there might be some things I have answers to, there's a lot I don't have answers to because I can't have answers to it. And that's a personal journey and a personal faith that has to unfold one way or the other.
And
right?
I'm a curious person.
You're a curious person.
And I like to know the answers. We've talked about this, the fact that people just don't care about grammar because it just doesn't matter. I'm like, but there's a black and white answer here, so just figure it out and then memorize it. So that's how I realized that there are certain things in life that you can't approach with that same sort of mentality.
Yeah.
And I get that, but then can I put that into practice in this way is yet to be revealed or seen. Now, have weird things kind of happen that are making me go,
yeah,
okay. Did I tell the story about when I opened it?
You told it on your personal page,
Okay.
but you definitely need to share it here.
Like, okay, so I had to order a Bible because I didn't have a Bible. So I had to order one from Amazon, and then I didn't open it and do the whole first week study because I just didn't.
Yeah.
And
That's okay.
so all I did is I just walked back in last week and said, I ordered my Bible and it's here, and here's the Nehemiah book, and I remembered the name tag. So here I am, and I did nothing. So par for the course. And so I was sitting there, and of course Elizabeth goes, okay, let's open our Bibles and go to Nehemiah. I don't know where Nehemiah is in the book. I don't know if it's front, back, middle, nothing. I know nothing. So I just figure, well, just open it up and then you'll go from there. Someone will tell you which page it's going to be on. So I just open my book, and the page I opened to is Joshua, which is my husband's name.
Yep.
And then my lucky number is 227.
Yep.
And it opened to Joshua 22:7.
It's I have the chills.
And that is weird.
That is
right? That's weird.
Beyond.
Okay.
If that is not the Lord saying
to
you, you're in the right place.
The amount of people who wrote me and said, that's a God incident, and that's God.
The God wink.
Yeah, the God wink. I got it, guys. I've heard it. No, I know. They're just trying to be very sweet.
Yes,
I get it. I'm not poking fun. I'm more poking fun at myself here, you guys.
Yeah.
Not y'all. And then, so I was like, okay, I see it.
Uh-huh.
And then today when we opened up, again, very first thing that Elizabeth told us to open up to, we had not opened our Bibles at all. She said, okay, everyone open to page 717. And that's Joshua's lucky number. It's his birthday, July 17th. And it's always been his lucky number. And we see it all the time. So your 109 is Joshua's 717 is my 227. And so today she said, open to 717. And I was like,
oh,
okay.
My gosh. My mouth is agape.
Mm-hmm. It is.
The flies are buzzing in
Yeah.
and out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Because I am so stunned. And so
little
what do
ways.
you think of that when you're seeing these little things?
Mm-hmm.
Not earth-shattering. It's not God parting the clouds and
No.
being like, Miranda.
No.
But it's these little things. Is it just kind of like...
The thing that I think is I think it's him, capital H,
Capital H-I-M.
saying, notice this.
Yeah.
Just notice it.
Yeah.
Don't ignore it. Don't poo-poo it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make fun of it.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes I just did. I'm like, yeah, I'm picking on myself. Like, just notice this.
Yeah.
And I have, really been thinking, like, why am I here? And it's just to stay curious and to notice things.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I know a lot of people would say, reveal yourself and everything. I'm not into the church speak. Like all these like popular phrases and sayings.
Yeah. And you don't have to be.
And
you don't even have to be someone who is into church.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of y'all are going to disagree with that, and that's okay. But not everybody is wanting to be in a big congregation every Sunday. Mm-hmm. Not everybody feels close to the Lord in a room full of people.
Sure. Joshua feels closest to the Lord, and Joshua is Christian, and he prays every night and everything, but he feels closest to the Lord when he is running on the top of the mountain.
I am certain of that.
And he is looking out at the vastness of it, and he is saying, how did you create all of this?
Yes.
This is so beautiful, so cool. My eyes know the beauty because of you. And that's when he feels closest. That's also when he does his therapy to himself. That's when he's figuring things out. But it is because he is talking to God, you know? And so he feels that. And so he's handling, I'm like, well, Joshua's handling it all. He's praying for he's praying for our kids. He's praying for our marriage.
Right.
He's handling it.
But
like, we're
things,
good,
there's things that you can be doing and be part of as the mom and the wife and all the things. And
for sure.
And just to...
Elizabeth's mentioning it. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it.
Yes. And to just be also like feeding your soul, whatever it needs.
Yes.
And so continue on the journey. Don't let anybody tell you the speak you have to do, the places you have to go, the way you need to act. Those days are behind us. And let me just say that if you're somebody that grew up in the church and you felt burned by things, or you felt that it was ugly in some way, things are changing and have changed, and it's different now. Yeah. And I'm proud of that, because I've seen it all. I've been in church since I was born, and I've seen the transformation of like, church is now the hospital. It's not the place to go to be condemned and be convicted, and
it's to get patched up.
It's to get patched up and healed. It's a place for broken people to be. It's not a place for perfect people. And it should have never been presented as that. And it was for a long, long time.
Well, and that's what one of the questions in study today was, why do you think people don't turn to God? Why do you think that people
Great question.
don't talk to him and everything? And I said, well, I'll be the first to answer this one. Again, please do not abuse my honesty here. But I said, to me, it looked like it had to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
And if I can't be all, then it's just safer and easier to be nothing.
Sure.
And if I don't say like, oh, I'm going to try this whole thing now, then people aren't constantly judging, but then you cussed, but then you did this, but then I saw you drink, and then, and I'm kind of like, it's really, I thought that it wasn't your place to judge anyway. And you're bringing less and less people to the church if they know that you are constantly talking to everybody else around them about how they're not the perfect Christian.
And that's right.
And so so there's even more, but I'm just going to leave y'all with that. But I did want to say that it's the idea of I can't say something isn't for me until I've at least tried it. Now, there are other things. I can say that like, bad things. Yeah. I mean, I can say that like
more really, like methamphetamine.
Yeah, I can say yes, thank you. I'm like, what can I give it as an example that's not just okay. Meth. I don't have to try meth to know that meth wouldn't be good for me.
It's not for you.
I see enough of them hanging around where I have to drive every day that I know meth is not good for me. So I'm not saying it in that way. In this way.
At the Murder Mart?
Yeah, at the Murder Mart. Bingo. At the Days Inn behind the Azteca on Woodlawn.
Oh boy, that Days Inn.
I got it. Like I see it with my eyes every Friday night when I'm just trying to get some fajitas.
Yes,
vaginas. And I want to get to a place where instead of saying it's not for me, to get to a place of approaching things with maybe it could be. Yeah. What if?
Yeah. And then your answer to people in the future, let's say something's not for you. You figured it out. Mm-hmm. Then that's your answer is, I tried it and it just wasn't for me.
So ultimately, I did start this by going in saying, and now every time someone asks me to go to Awaken, I can say, I tried it, didn't love it, thank you so much. And then what are they going to say to me?
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Conversation over.
But for 10 years, I don't think it's for me hasn't worked because people keep asking me. So now I'm doing it. And I will keep y'all abreast of the situation and updated.
Please keep us abreast.
And Joshua was watching me do my study. Yesterday I was outside on the porch. I had my Bible open and had my Nehemiah book open. And
what does he think of all this?
Well, he said, this looks weird.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to watch you writing things down and studying. And because the last time I studied for a single thing was in college.
You are an enlightened human being. Look at you go.
I'm trying to.
You are reaching nirvana.
I'm trying. Whatever nirvana is.
Well, we said it's the peak of podcasting.
Yeah, it's obviously the peak of podcasting, which we are trying to do that. And if all of this comes and it gets us our 100K by our 1 year date, then I'll say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it? And our hands will go like this. Woo! I actually had written down on my list, one of the things was, literally at the top, it says, people underestimate podcasters.
Yes.
And can I just say why?
Yes.
This is not easy.
No.
And when I'm talking about getting behind a mic and talking and sharing things and being engaging, and whether that's being serious or funny, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And so I think about the people I have followed for years on podcasts, and I'm sitting here going, you have made hundreds of episodes, and every time you bring it, and every time you make me laugh or you make me think, and I'm just
Heather's such a great example of it, isn't it?
Oh, she's so good.
She's so good, and she's alone.
She's by herself.
Think of how much harder it could be.
Same for Danny. They are having these conversations just alone in a room.
Oh, Danny, yeah.
Yeah, Danny Pellegrino.
Yeah, at first I was thinking Austin.
Oh, yeah, no, she's with her husband. Listen, I'm not going to say anything about that, but because I like Danny Austin. But I also just feel like
She spelled green bean one word and hyphenated it.
That's who it was.
I sent you the reel.
You did?
Yeah, but it's probably in one of the 4 accounts that we keep mixing up.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
But here's okay, I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
Because I really do like Danny a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've conquered all these spaces.
Yeah.
Did you also need to release a podcast too?
I was curious about that.
And maybe people are clamoring for it. I'm sure she's number one. I'm sure
Yep.
she shot to the top and has lots of sponsors. And maybe
Okay.
this is just my jealousy talking. But it's just...
Like, save something for us.
Yeah, it feels just
We don't have a hairline.
Yes.
We don't have a million plus followers.
Like,
I'm not getting millions of dollars in LTK affiliate commissions.
Yes.
Like, save a little, but then I also
I'm
know
not going on Tarte cosmetic strips. I'm not there's a lot that these influencers are doing and good on them, and I love it. And Who Run the World Girls.
Yeah.
I'm living for it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, did you also need to release a podcast?
Because now she's coming into our space.
She's in our space.
Yeah, because I wasn't going on any Tarte trips. I wasn't getting invited to that stuff. But man, can't we just have some nice things, Danny? Can you give us some,
Danny?
But then I'm also like, I know that we're not supposed to gatekeep and keep everything from everyone else. I know that we're supposed to be with open hands.
Yeah, that's right.
But man, I know. See, I am listening.
You're learning. Holding things with open hands.
Just hold them with open hands.
Because guess what, guys? When you hold things like this,
here it comes.
And then they get taken from you.
Yeah,
it's gonna really hurt.
It sure is.
Even
it's
worse.
gonna rip through those nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say about marriage. Marriage is this. Okay. 2 people bonded. Imagine it's just glued. Your hands are glued together, intertwined. And then if that marriage ends and you have to rip those hands apart, it is going to hurt.
Oh, real bad.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah. So how are we supposed to hold them?
No, this is marriage.
Okay. Just don't pull them apart.
Just don't. I mean, unless you're being abused.
Yeah.
But
But don't do anything else to pull them. What you're saying is...
to not just willy-nilly leave your partner.
Right. That it better hurt if you're leaving.
Yes.
Because it's got to be a big, bad choice.
That's it.
Okay, got it.
This is the big choice. Like, you've chosen as you get married. And as
for two become one.
As the... Taking it back.
To become one. I need to show They're like, we heard it 54 minutes ago.
To you, baby. Wow, you brought it back around this time.
I know.
Normally it's me.
I took Adderall today.
Woo!
I'm remembering things.
You gonna go home and take
another one.
And then
no.
Another one.
I can't take that afternoon one.
Because you'll be up.
Yeah, and I already got one of the worst nights.
Do you feel it wear off? Like throughout the day, you feel it wear off?
Yeah, I'll feel it at about 2 p.m.
Okay.
And I'll get a headache.
Okay.
I'll get a headache from not taking the second part. Yeah.
I'm so sorry if you need some of this food here.
Nope, that won't help. That'll make me more sad.
Okay, so y'all, one last thing before we gotta go.
Okay.
Because I texted you and said I can't wait to tell you this, remember?
Tell me.
Okay. Speaking of signs and wonders. Last week, y'all remember on the clutter, we spoke about the reel that Landon did about cardinals.
Yes.
Right? We talked about the cardinals, the superstitions, it's your ancestors coming back.
Yes.
Then there were the people that took it even deeper, saying you got to touch blue when you see a cardinal. If you see a dead cardinal, it's because someone saved your life.
Right.
Matt saw a dead cardinal last Tuesday.
No.
He did.
I swear. I've never seen one, and Matt saw it as soon as we talked about it.
He didn't even know
that we talked about
that we had talked about it. Happened before. So here's the deal. We have birds that come and they eat the seed in the backyard. Our neighbor's cat has kind of been roaming around, and we've been suspecting, like, is he trying to get these birds? Whatever. But, birds and cats, what can I say? Like, this is just tails all the
they're peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I mean, this is just how it is. And so
birds and cats. Yes.
Yeah. And so he tells me this weekend, because he knows I love my birds.
Yes.
He says to me, there's the train, y'all.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah.
At 5 a.m., Sarah Sheeler. And so
out of your Stanley
Cup. And so he says to me over the weekend, I didn't want to tell you, but I think we do need to get a handle on the cat situation, because I found a dead one out as I was doing I Know the Train.
Literally when you said dead.
I know it.
Oh.
And so I said, oh my gosh, what? Like, so he's telling me this. A day or two later, I'm peppering him because I want to know more. He said, I'm just going to tell you that that's what I found. I don't want to give you more details. I'm going to keep that to myself. But we need to get a handle on this situation. So 2 days later.
Because he knows your little Cinderella heart will be so sad.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So 2 days later, I'm thinking about this.
And you can't let it go.
And I'm out on the path and I see a red feather on our path. And I go to him and I said, did you see a dead cardinal? And he goes, yeah. And
you put all of this together.
I'm the woman with the calculations.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
With the red feather.
Yeah.
And I said to him, babe, we just recorded.
Literally just recorded.
A podcast. That was one of your ancestors saving your life. That red bird, that cardinal, allowed itself to die because you were going to die that Tuesday. Y'all. Y'all.
Did he have like a near-death experience on Tuesday
by
chance that it could have been?
We were trying to think back. I mean, he drove around a lot. There was a lot of driving.
Like, you know how like sometimes you're like, God, that
was
almost
close.
Swerved right into me.
Yeah, I mean,
if
it
you
could have been.
Put it back into that day, you're like, ugh, that was a savior.
Is that not so freaking weird? I've never heard that.
I've never heard that part either.
So I randomly saw it on a comment on a reel.
Then brought it up to me.
Then I told
Landon said something about it.
And then a week later, less than a week later, Matt is saying, I saw a dead cardinal.
But only because you questioned him about seeing a red feather.
Yeah.
You are really paying attention.
I saw the red feather. I did. And folks, I don't know.
I'm glad that Matt's okay.
I'm glad he's okay.
Obviously. We don't want anything to happen to Matt.
We don't want anything to happen to Matt. I'm like, did something intercede for him? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how people feel about signs and wonders and animals and nature and all that when it comes to like spiritual things.
Yeah.
But I am very much a signs and wonders girl.
I agree. And so am I.
Like, if God created the earth, we can also believe that like he's sending messages and things to us through the natural world, right?
I'm just now starting. I don't know that I'm allowed to answer this because, again, I'm on week 3 of Bible study. But I think that we're supposed to be taking stuff from everywhere.
Yes.
I think that we're supposed to be noticing things, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing to me that some people just get to float through the world, not really paying attention, indifferent about this or that.
I know it.
And then they just peacefully fall back asleep because nothing's really made them high and nothing's really made them low and nothing's made them deep and sit with it. Oh, you know what? It's not my journey. I'm paying attention and looking at everything because I do want stuff to be revealed to me. Yes. I really do.
We've always said that. We're like, we want the aliens to come to us. Reveal yourselves.
I want the ghost on a ghost tour. Yes. I want the ghost to come through my body and kind of start making me do weird things with my hands. I don't know. I would love it.
We talked about the flash mob. Yeah. Why has that not happened to us? Why am I not randomly in an Italian restaurant and an opera singer stands up and starts singing? I want these things to happen to me.
I do too. And I've left myself so open to it.
Yes.
Am I too open?
I think it is. Our vibes and our auras are too open. Again, is that bad for me to say? I don't know.
Are we reeking of desperation?
But that might be it. The aliens have looked down on you and I, and they are saying, you know, these two, they're too willing. They're too ready. We're too ready. We need to be giving more.
We need to be playing hard to get, is what you're saying.
Fear and hard to get.
Well.
Like maybe if
I don't operate out of fear.
I don't believe aliens aren't real.
Oh, so we need to give them reverse psychology.
I think so.
Okay. Well, aliens, if you're listening, we don't believe in you anymore. And we don't even want to see you. Don't tell us anything. Don't tell us about your ship. Don't tell us about your kind. Don't tell us about your food. Don't tell us about your leader. I don't want to know any of it.
And you know what?
And this is me.
You make me sick.
And this is me. Just
all right. That's it.
Make me sick.
Aliens.